Okay. We might have to cut this first part short because it's so chilly. But let's get started. So find your feet. Oh, and Artie's here already. She's so excited to be here with all of you. So there's I wore this funky thing today because there's something called the malas. That's yogic theory. I'm sorry, I love all the yogic theory and stuff. But the malas are like cloaks. So thus the cloaks, or like dust that you get on you when that kind of shield you from being your true self. So there's 3 malas, and I'm just going to do one today, and then we'll go over the next one next week and so forth. But the first one is called Anava Mala, and it's when your heart is cloaked, and it literally clouds your true nature, but it's when you feel unworthy, insecure, sad, feelings of not being good enough. We've all had these at various times in our life. So you basically don't recognize the divine, that you were made perfectly the way you are, and that gets cloaked. You forget that. So that's Anava Mala. And it's really a cloaking of the heart. And you can think of the malas as like dust that accumulates on you. You really don't even realize that it's there until you lift something off and look at it. Like on my coffee table, I'll pick something up and it's like, oh, where'd all that dust come from? And that can actually happen on your heart too, until you do something to feel better. And yoga is one of the things that can help you feel more worthy. So Anava Mala, feeling unworthy, not good enough, insecure. So it's good to dust that off, right? So please close your eyes. And as you turn to your breath, just think of how the breath sometimes can just blow that dust right off. And see if you can deepen the breath. And maybe even turn to I can't even think of the name, Ujjayi breath, where it sounds like Darth Vader on the exhale. So you don't open the mouth, but you bring the tongue to the top of the roof of your mouth. So it sounds a little bit like Darth Vader as you breathe out. So try that. Just not another tool for helping you stay connected to breath. And now let it go back to normal. And please bring hands to heart center. May we all endeavor to remember who we are, who we were created to be. We were created perfectly. We need to just reconnect with that thought that we are good enough, that we are worthy. And we're much better able to notice our interconnectedness and the beauty and the grace that's always around us. And please lower your hands, open your eyes, and just because we've been wearing boots a lot, let's do some footwork. So extend your right leg and bring your left ankle over the top. I do this a lot because it helps me. And then just interlace your fingers in between each toe. It serves two purposes. It opens your hip and it's really good for your feet. So some people think, oh, I can't do that. There's not enough room. And then you just kind of work towards it. I used to not be able to do it at all, or it was extremely painful. So yeah, Helen's eyes are saying, yep, that's the way it is. But maybe you can get just a little bit in there. And then just move the toes forward and back a little bit. Wiggle them around. This is actually really good for, what's this called? Bunion. It's good for bunion. Good for balance. Oh yeah. And you can even massage the arch of the foot a little bit. I think boots do funny things to your feet. Good, and then just kind of say, wake up. And we'll switch. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I just want you to work on it a little bit at home. I have these yoga toe things that sometimes I wear at night because it really does help. You can't walk around in them, but it's just a little plastic thing, and it's kind of like, you know, if you've gotten a pedicure, only it's a little bit more rigid. Feel this one. One side will probably feel a little different or better than the other. Massage the arch. Wake up the feet. Good. And then come to cross-legged. And we're just going to shed our clumps. So stretch your arms up. Feel like you're dusting off. Get really tall and maybe arc to the side. And come on up and arc to the other side. And stretch back up. And go ahead and grab your belt and lay on your back. It's gonna warm up everything. Sometimes when it's cold out, you have to go a little bit slower and gentler. So bring the belt right in the middle, so right on the arch of your right foot. You can keep your left knee bent to get that. And then just kind of see where your hamstring allows your back to stay nice and long and you still have a curve in the back. And then just a little pressure down, and let's see, can you extend the left leg and have it still maintain the little curve in your low back? Good. A little pressure down feels good, so the legs go in the socket. Now, very gently, not too far, so you want to keep the right hip grounded. Just bring the foot to the left. You'll feel a little something in your IT band. Yeah, it's a little achy feeling. Yeah. Keep your foot really active. Good. And then come back to center. Just grab a hold of the belt with your right hand. You might have to put a little bend in your knee. And bring your left arm off to the side so you can balance, and then just allow the foot to come off to the right side and stretch the inner thigh a little bit. A little too close to the wall, but it feels kind of nice to have that wall to support me. Good. And then come on back up. Grab both sides of the belt. Reach your left foot up and grab the belt. And then reconnect with the long spine. Extend your right leg if that feels appropriate. Hold down. You can flex and point your toe a few times too. Forgot to have you do that. Just admire your new wider spread toes as you do this. And then just very subtly bring the foot to the right. Don't let the left hip come up. It's a lot of, you can, I don't know, it's an achiness for me, like a, yeah, I know. I don't know. Good. Come back to center. Grab the belt with your left hand. Right arm off to the side. You want to keep the right leg grounded, the right arm grounded as you bring the leg out. You can bend the knee if that feels better too. Oh, we're really tight because of the cold. Give yourself a little break. Good. And then come on back to center. Remove the belt. And just hug your knees in. Oh, roll side to side a little bit. And roll all the way to the right and push up to all fours position. And remember, in that long connected spine, just work through some cow, cats. You can pause, you can move fast, whatever you're needing this morning. If you want to use Ujjayi breath at any time, you can. Kind of reminds you to move with the breath. Sometimes that feels nice. Good. Now stretch your toes long. And if your knees allow, you can sit all the way back on your heels, or you can just go where it feels like a good stretch in your quad. And you'll feel an ankle stretch too. Good. That's perfect, Helen. Feel okay? And if you're able to come up, I don't know, I like to reach back and massage my feet again. And we might revisit that and then come on forward to all fours again. And extend your right leg. And I want you to remember, you're keeping the hips square. You're drawing the core up, the rib cage back, and then add in the left hand. Just warming the glutes, the hamstrings. You can point and flex your foot a few times. Keep your core super engaged. And then release. And switch. Left leg. Draw up. Right arm. Point and flex. And release. First side again. Just think long spine, engaged core. Bend your right knee. You don't have to do this. Reach back with your left hand, find the foot, and kick back. Maybe feel a little bit more like back bend position. Yeah, really gentle. Yeah. Good. And then extend and release. Other side. Set up by really engaging that long spine. And then it's safer when you bend because you're lengthening all the way up. Oh, one side will feel different. Good, release. And sit back again. This time, you can use a block if you're not going all the way back, or widen your feet just enough that maybe you can sit on a blanket or maybe even on the floor between your feet. Got to get those quads stretched out a little bit. If it feels appropriate, you can feel your sit bones grounded. You're still connected in your back. You can lean back a little bit. Press all 10 toes down. That'll help. Feel good in the... Sometimes I have to move my calves out of the way. Helen's going, yep. Some of you might be able to go back to your elbows. Try not to scoop your tailbone too much. You want to keep a little bit of a lengthening going on, but you still have the curve in your low back, and maybe then lay back and extend the arms. It's easy for kids to do this. Why is it so hard for adults? Good. And then come up, leading with the heart, and come forward. Bring your hands forward of your shoulders, curl the toes, lift to down dog. And just take a few moments here. Then one knee, and then the other. And I want you to count 5 breaths. You can use that Ujjayi breath if you want, the Darth Vader breath. If you're broadening the clavicles, but feeling the armpits hollow, shoulder blades on the back, rib cage back, long, spine, sits bones back and apart. And then please come forward to plank. Lower your knees and lower to the mat. Stretch your feet long. Stretch your arms long. Think long side body, head of the arm bones back, rib cage back. Lift the head and chest. Maybe lift the legs. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Yeah. One more breath. Good. Lower down. Push all the way back to downward facing dog. Blow the dust off of this pose. Really connect with your breath. That helps you get rid of those malas, especially the mala on your heart today. And then step your feet up to your hands and come to a forward fold. And just explore here with your breath a little bit, maybe 5 breaths. And then slowly roll on up to standing, poddattanasana. And if you're wanting to use blocks today, you can bring them by your feet because we're going to move through some sun salutations. So let's just move. Inhale, stretch up. Hopefully you're getting warm now. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right foot back. A deep lunge. Think hips stay square, feet hug towards each other. Lengthen your spine. And stay for 5 breaths. Start a low belly up and the sit bones back. Good. Even if your hands are on blocks, step back to downward facing dog. Extend the right leg and step it through deep lunge on that side. Sometimes the blocks don't even help put that step through. Again, just notice, nice long spine, sits bones back. Feel the stretch. Feet hug towards each other. And next inhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Stretch your arms up. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. And let's keep going. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Step the left foot back, deep lunge. And setting up just the same. This time when you feel connected, lower your back knee, hug to the midline, keep the hips square, and stretch up Anava Mala. Rib cage is back, knee and heel hug towards each other. 5 breaths. Just see how the pose evolves as you breathe. And on your next exhale, touch down. Very good. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. And you might want to not use the blocks for the vinyasa, or if you're not doing vinyasa, take a child's pose. So here we go. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. You can lower knees too if you need to. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend the left leg. Step it through deep lunge. I'll give you a moment to get there. Lower the back knee. Take your time coming up so you feel really stable and you're hugging, feeling connected. And then extend into Anava. 5 breaths. Feel the front foot fully planted, the knee and the heel hugging towards each other. One more breath. And please touch down. Good. Inhale, lift the back knee and step forward, forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause there. Are you still feeling unworthy? Blow a little more dust out there. You're doing really well. So inhale, stretch up. We're going to keep going here. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Step the right foot back. Deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, lift the back knee, step back, down dog. Exhale, feel the alignment. Inhale, come to plank if you're doing vinyasa. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward facing dog. Extend the right leg. Step it through. Deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, lift the back knee, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just like that, keep going. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Left foot back, deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Inhale, stretch up, Anjaneyasana. And on your next exhale, touch down. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward facing dog. I'm making you move so fast because you gotta stay warm. Inhale, extend the left leg, step it through, and lower the back knee. Inhale, when you're ready, Anjaneyasana. And touch down. Inhale, lift the back knee, step forward, and fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we're gonna do another sequence, and we're gonna try and do 5 breaths for each pose. So I'm gonna have you just step your right foot back so you can ground the heel down, and your left knee will be bent so the knee will be right above the ankle. And make sure you have plenty of width so your feet are at least as wide as your hips and your knees right above your ankle. So you don't want to step back so far that you can't feel that back heel grounded down. And your toes may turn out a little bit here. This is warrior one position. Now, see if you can really integrate in your core and stretch your arms up. And think 5 breaths here. For me, it's easier to use Ujjayi breath because it's easier to count. Feel like you're lifting your arches. Good. Now, I feel like my pelvis is kind of facing the upper right corner. I want to keep it there. I'm going to see, maybe reach back and interlace the hands, or you have a belt. You can use that. Draw the rib cage back, keep everything integrated, and then fold forward to that humble warrior. Now, if that doesn't work and you don't feel balanced, use your hands on the ground or on the blocks. You have to feel really stable to be able to keep the balance here. One more breath. And come on back up. You can bring your hands to your hips. Okay. Okay. Same thing. This time though, you straighten your front leg. You might need blocks under your hands here. And you're just gonna fold forward. Bring your hands to the blocks or to the floor. Try not to, I notice my hips are swaying to the right. I want to keep them square. Keep everything integrated. Think nice long spine, rib cage back, sits bones back. And then maybe I fold a little deeper. This is called pyramid pose. Okay, now come up like a pranam. And if you're using a block, keep your right hand on the block. Bring your left hand to your hip. And twist to your left. Yeah, twisted triangle. Feel really strong through that back leg. Maybe extend the arm if you're feeling it. 5 breaths. Ujjayi breath out. And please touch down. Bend your front knee and step forward. Forward fold. Ooh, that's a lot on one leg, right? And slowly come up to standing. Now I feel unbalanced. We got to balance it out. So let's step the left foot back. And you just take your time kind of putting it where you want. For warrior one, bend the front knee. I think my rib cage, my pelvis kind of faces the upper left corner. It's hard to get it all the way straight, especially if you're being mindful. Kneecap and toes point kind of the same direction. Feel balanced, extend the arms. 5 breaths. We don't practice this pose very much because I think it's really hard to get it right. So I'm just looking at you guys. You look pretty good. That's 4 by my count. And 5, reach the arms behind you if you're going there. Realize that you don't have to do this without support of your hands. And maybe fold forward to that humble warrior pose. Feel strong through that back foot. Back heel especially. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Come up. Straighten your right leg. And fold forward. Use the blocks if you need to, or the floor. Poddattanasana. Think hips back, rib cage back, long spine, and then fold. Just check your alignment. Does it seem like your right hip crease is drawing back? I like to feel all parts of my, even if you hug your feet towards each other here, kind of helps. Good. Now that twisted triangle position. So left hand stays where it is. You can bring it closer to the foot if your balance is good. Bring your right hand to your hip. Think really strong in the legs and then twist. And only if it feels like your shoulder is stacked on top of the other shoulder should you extend the arm. 5 breaths. Good. Touch down. Bend the front knee. Step forward. Forward fold. And step back to a downward facing dog. You can lose the blocks and take a child's pose. Bend your arms if you want, or just rest them. We haven't been using the hands too much, so I like to lift the wrists, lift the shoulders. Can you still feel your ujjayi breath? And then please make your way to downward facing dog. And walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees, hands on your knees. Bring your torso upright. And press into your feet and stand up. Good. Now, if you want to go by a wall for balance poses, you're welcome to. Otherwise, stand on your right foot. You're doing good. And bring your left foot up for tree pose. So you know you can go low, you can go medium, you can go high. Just take your time. Sometimes when you've been really grounding through your feet, your balance feels pretty good. Good, and release. Wow, nice. Switch sides. Just take your time. If you can notice your core. Get bone-to-bone connection with your foot. And release. Good. Now, stretching out those quads a little bit more. Stand on your right foot again and see if you can find the left foot, bring knee beside knee and stretch up tall for that quad stretch. Be really mindful with your ankle and your knee. If you want to and you're feeling strong, you can bring both hands to the foot. Bend the knee down towards the floor, lengthen up tall, and release. Feels pretty good, huh? Switch sides. Just start with the left arm extended. Knee beside knee. I always have to tell myself low belly draws up, rib cage back. And then see. Send the knee towards the floor. Lengthen up with the heart. Good. And release. Well done, everybody. I'm going to have you all turn. Well, Cassie, you turn in. So you turn in too. Take a wide stance. You can look at Helen. Encourage her. Blow the dust off each other. And just come forward to a wide-legged forward fold. So keep really strong. Make sure your feet are straight ahead. You can use your hands or blocks to support you here. And just kind of sway forward and back and see if the weight's right in the middle of your feet. If you're using the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inside of heel, the outside of heel, and you're attempting to keep the arches lifting. So press the big toe mound down, lift the arch, press the inner heel down, lift the arch. Feel that. And that was 5 breaths. So come on up to standing now. And just turn your forward foot towards the front wall. Bend into the front knee. And the arms, warrior 2. 5 breaths here. Keep tracking the knee straight. Feel the back leg support you. Feel your core. Nice and strong. 3. 4. 5. Good. Now stay in this position, but bring your back hand down the back leg. Your other arm up. Reach it up. Palm facing back. And then if it feels good, you can lean back. Keep everything square to the side. 5 breaths. You really have to be stable. Use that back leg, use the front leg. 5. Good. Come back to warrior 2. Now I'm going to have you go to parsvakonasana. So either elbow to knee or hand to the floor. You decide. Arm by the ear. Rib cage on the back. Shoulders on the back. Use that back foot. Draw the low belly up. Send the sit bones back and wide. 4. 5. Stretch the right arm up. See if you can just straighten the left leg and come to triangle. Ooh, that feels different, right? Nice, everybody. Beautiful alignment. That's gorgeous. One more breath. Bend the front knee, bring the right hand, or the top hand to the hip, bring the elbow, and come up to standing. Turn the forward foot in. Good. Hold into prasarita again. A little break. Where we do the other side. That was 5. Come on back up. Now turn the back foot towards the back wall. Bend into the front knee. Warrior 2. Four, 5. Back hand down the leg. Top hand up. Reverse warrior. Beautiful, you guys. Keep the knee bent. One more breath. Good, and come back to warrior 2. Now transitioning to parsvakonasana, either hand, elbow to knee or hand to the floor or block. Top arm stretches when you feel balanced. Palm facing the floor. Back foot's really keeping you grounded. Rib cage is back. Shoulder blades are back. So you can open your heart. Good. That was 5. Stretch the top arm up. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. Notice both feet hugging towards each other, lengthening your spine, opening your heart. One more breath. 5. Good. However, you can get back up to standing. Turn the foot in. And then step your feet together. That was a long time with wide legs. Good job. And come on up, back up to the front of your mat. Stretch your arms up. And then exhale and bring your hands to heart center. And as you do, close your eyes for a moment. And think of your heart. Your heart is known as the seat of your soul. If you're really connected to your spiritual side, Anava Mala just falls away. All the dust flows away because you know that God created you perfectly. You were perfect in every way. It's when you forget that things start to go awry. Good. Open your eyes, stretch your arms up. Maybe lean back just a little bit and then fold forward. Pranam and fold. And step back to downward facing dog. Two, 3, 4, 5. Good. Lower your knees. And then right where your hands are, bring your elbows there. So they're right under your shoulders. Interlace your hands. Keep your toes curled under. Press the forearms, the wrists, and the hands down. So you're not just right on your elbows. And think rib cage back, but broaden the clavicle. So you feel really strong on the front and the back of the shoulder girdle. That's key for this pose. And then just lift your knees And keep that action. This is dolphin pose. You don't have to straighten your knees all the way. If you're feeling good, you can walk your feet forward a little bit. You feel really strong in your shoulders. And then maybe lift one leg. And then the other. Good. And then lower. And bring your knees down. Take a child's pose for a couple breaths. And then making your way to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. And lower to the mat. I'm going to give you options here. You can do shalabhasana, or we're warm enough in our shoulders, in our thighs, and everything that you could do dhanurasana, which is a bow pose. So shalabhasana, you just lift head and shoulders and feet, lengthening. Dhanurasana, bend the knees. You might have to roll side to side a little bit to get the feet or the ankles. But it's the same action. Press the knees down to get a little curve in the low back. Draw the rib cage back. Lift the head. Lift the shoulders. Kick the feet back. Lift the knees. Boat pose. Woo! Should feel really good. All the prep you've done. One more breath. And relax all the way down. Bring your hands under your forehead. I think that was 5 breaths. I forgot to count. You pretty much use every muscle in your whole body for that one. You're taller. Good. Push back to all fours. Swing your feet to one side and bring your feet in front of you. And just hug your knees in. Kind of lengthening and rounding. Should feel kind of good after that pose. And then with the feet flat, bring the hands behind your knees. Lean back, lengthen your spine. Lift the shins. Boat pose. You can stay there or you can straighten your legs. Release the hands, feet to side. Think low belly draws up, rib cage stays back, lengthen. Bring both hands to the right side. Bring both hands to the left side. The boat's sinking, oh no, come back to center. And release. The boat's going down. Okay, grab your blanket and sit on the edge of it if you want. You don't have to, of course. And oh, at least she isn't in your face today. Okay, with your legs stretched out straight, just bend your right knee. And if this is feels good right there, you can stay there. Or if you want a little bit more stretch, bring the foot to the outside of the leg. Yeah, make sure it's grounded down. Good, and then interlacing, you pull back and up to really lengthen your spine. That feels good right there, right? And then you can wrap your elbow around the knee and bring your right hand off to the side. So you want to keep lifting straight up. And now if that feels good and you can really press that right foot down, you can also bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. If you want to, bring it up so you remember the length. And then 5 breaths here. Try Ujjayi breath here. So you're not really cranking yourself around with your arms. You're using those core muscles to twist. Every inhale, I think, length. And exhale, maybe twist. Good. Unwind. Okay. Okay, now just bring that foot so the foot's on the inner thigh. This leg's still straight out in front. And if you want to, you can bring a block. If your knees lifted here, you can put a block there just to kind of support it. So make sure you're inner spiraled on both sides. I always have to check mine because when I transition, the kneecap and toes point straight up on that. And then just face that outstretched leg. And if you have a hard time reaching your foot, you can use a belt around it too. So then just fold over it, keeping in mind the length. Maybe find the foot. See where it takes you. Try not to round the lower back, but keep thinking long spine. I'm always trying to pull that outstretched leg into the socket so I don't hyperextend the knee. And then slowly come on up. Whew. Extend that leg. Yeah, if it doesn't feel good for your knee to do that, just bring them wide and twist like that. Okay. So let's try the other side. So bend the knee, right? Bring it across if that feels okay. Pull back and up on your shin with your hands so that you can lengthen your spine. And then wrap and twist and just see how that feels. Sometimes you lose one sits bone or the other, so just notice. And if you want to go deeper, bring the elbow to the outside. And breathe. 5 breaths. Every inhale, think long spine. Use the core to twist on the exhale. Don't crank it with your hands. Good. Unwind. Come to that modified Janu Shirshasana position. So the legs still straight out. Excuse me, Artie. Knee bends. It's almost like a 90-degree angle for this variation. Either spiral if you need to. Face the leg. Think long spine, sits bones back and fold. Go slow with your breath. pulling the left or the right leg into the socket. So don't hyperextend. And then come on back up. Transition to your backs. Turn these lights down a bit. Yeah, cover up if you want, but we're not. We're gonna do a couple more calming poses. So with your feet flat, just notice the curve in your low back. And then bring your legs up, point your elbow or your knees toward your armpits. So the low back will come down, but you still have that long spine. Bring your elbows to the inside, reach up to the outside of your feet for happy baby pose. And then just keep thinking, nice long spine. If you want to, you can roll side to side. I like to bring one knee down. I'm just gonna roll back and forth. Oh, that feels so good. Feet are really active. You're pressing feet into hands and just resisting with the hands to get that nice long spine. Inner edge of the foot is just as active as the outer edge. If you want to, you can even straighten your legs. Good, and then release the feet. Hug the knees in. Flex your feet, arms in cactus. It's really active as you roll the knees to the left. A line twist. You still want to attempt to keep a little curve in the low back. Three, 4, 5. Good. Hug the feet and the knees together to bring them up to the center. Make sure you have a little curve and roll them to the right side. You're tempting to keep your left shoulder down, but it may come up. It's okay. Excuse me. Five, hug the knees back to the center. Release the feet to the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide. If you want to, we did this last week. I like to give myself a little spinal traction by just pressing the whole pelvis away from me, lengthening my spine. Good. And then closing the knees, go ahead and stretch out for Shavasana. And if you want, I can come cover you up with a blanket too. Sometimes I just like a little blanket right on my upper thighs. It adds a little weight and it feels really good. Try that. Plus it'll add a little warmth for today since it's so chilly down here. Now just settle in, relax your jaw. Relax your back. If there's any tension, you can release. As you settle in, I just wanted to share with you a reading from Marianne Williamson, and it's entitled, "In the Spiritual Universe, All of Us Are One." Beyond a world of separate bodies, there is a world of spiritual unity. In the truer realms, there is no place where one of us stops and the other begins. May I see beyond the veil today to a world of unity and truth. There are no walls that separate us, no conflicts that are even real. In truth, there is only the love that unites us and makes us one. Dear God, may I see beyond the walls that appear to separate me from others. May I extend my love beyond the illusions of guilt and error. May nothing hide the truth of my unity with everyone and everything. Not even Anava Mala. Begin to notice your breath. When you're ready to stretch into the space around you, feel free. Please draw knees to chest. Roll to the right as you're ready to move again. Push on up to seated. If you're not frozen. And please bring hands to heart center. And just bow towards your heart, towards your spirit. I recognize that love that's within you and bow to it. Namaste. Great job, guys. Thank you guys at home. Appreciate it. See you soon.